There are 10 lessons that Peter Obi, obedient, and Nigerians must learn from the Edo election 2024, the Edo governorship elections. 10 lessons. Once we learn these lessons and we apply these 10 lessons, nobody can rig any elections in Nigeria anymore. 10 lessons. First of all, I need to say this. For those of you who keep pushing this narrative that Peter Tinubu knows how to rig election very well and that he will rig his way again in 2027 and people should not bother, I think you should stop it. And I will tell you why you should stop it. This was how we were driving the narrative, or people were pushing the narrative in 2015, that PDP knows how to rig elections very, very well, and that people shouldn't bother. In fact, when the coalition, the APC coalition was forming, the PDP were proud and they were arrogant and in saying that, oh, they will be in power for 50 years. So, those of you pushing that narrative now that Tinubu knows how to rig, remember this. What happened in 2015 can always happen again if the people get their act together. And these 10 lessons from the Edo elections will guarantee that what happened in 2015 will happen in 2027. What are the big lessons? Number one, Labour Party, Abundance Party of Nigeria, or any other party for that matter, apart from the APC, must recognize that they must be ready to do live transmission of their polling unit results. Live transmission. It is a big must. The Electoral Act 2022 forbids any other person apart from INEC from declaring winner. But it does not stop political party from announcing their own result. So, it is a check on INEC so far as they do it and base it on their own polling unit results. So live transmission is a must. Even if INEC does not do it, even if the Electoral Act 2022 is tinkered and reformed to include mandatory transmission, political parties must still do their own live transmission. In fact, a second thing they must do, which is the number 9 lesson, is that they must do live collation. As the results are coming from the polling units to the collation center, it must also go to the political party collation agent or the agent at the collation centers from the ward, local government, state up to the national. There must be live one. Live one. So we'll be seeing it in real time. At number 8 is we must have a solid situation room. From the local government, from the national to the state to the local government and even to the ward. We must have very, very solid situation room. And then we must make sure we put countermeasures in place. Countermeasure against violence, election violence at the polling unit, at the collation center. We must put measures in place. There are things that we can do as a political party or as citizens or as a movement to put INEC in check, to put security agencies in check, even to put the judiciary in check. We must do those things. Number 6, we must have a new political party. In fact, I don't know about the reforms in the Labour Party right now. Hopefully, the caretaker committee will be able to do something. But anything short of constitutionally guaranteed free nomination form for any office, anything short of that, the Labour Party is not viable. Anything short of that, in addition to other core ideologies that must be institutionalized in terms of constitution of the party. But in addition to that, there must be a backup political party. Peter Obi can do his thing in Labour Party if it works out, but we as Nigerians must have a new political party because Peter Obi cannot do it alone. We need people who believe in some ideologies, people to come out that can run without having big money. We need that new political party. And the best option is to align with the Abundance Party of Nigeria. We need very fantastic election management software at number 5. And there must be training and testing for polling unit agents. And in addition to polling unit agents, we must introduce what I call lookouts. If you like, you can call them spies. We introduce them. So once we have a network of all these polling unit agents and lookouts or spies, together with the countermeasures that we put in place, with proper training, ahead of time, I'm telling you, we will check the activities of INEC, security agencies, thugs, judiciary, all of them. We will check them. Election management software, we need it. We must start now. And then number 4, structure. Tinubu is nothing without structure. Wike is nothing without structure. What we saw play out in Edo State was a structure of criminality, structure of corruption, both on the side of PDP and the side of APC. They are not so different. It's just that the PDP that taught APC how to rig, the APC now mastered the rigging more than the PDP. But we must now have our own structure, solid structure. What is the update on the obedient structure? We must not say things with mouth and tell us we are working behind the scene. It is not so hard to structure the obedient movement. It's not so hard. Tanko, Yunusa, what is the update on it? We must start now. We need a solid structure. Everybody must know everybody across the polling units, across the wards, across the local government, across the state. We must be connected, and all of the other things I mentioned, we must begin to do them now. Solid structure. Number 3, we must understand that voter apathy is the basic foundation for rigging elections. Whether you want to do vote buying, whether you want to threaten people at polling unit, you want to do ballot box snatching or ballot paper burning, all of those things, they are made easy when there's voter apathy. So we must put plans in motion, set structures in place to combat voter apathy. Somebody said you cannot educate the hungry. So what do we do? What are the solutions that are available to us? There are solutions. We'll talk about them. But we must understand that voter apathy is a fundamental thing that we must deal with in order to defeat the structure of criminality, to defeat the structure of corruption, to defeat Tinubu and anybody. We can do it in 2027. Number 2, we must overcome this assumption that hunger and poverty will make people to vote out a corrupt APC or a corrupt PDP. Hunger and poverty is definitely not enough. People will sell their vote out of hunger. In fact, they won't understand that it is the people that are buying their votes that are responsible for their predicament. They won't. So we need to address this issue. We need to put countermeasure in place to stop vote buying from vote selling, We need to do it. And then the number 1 lesson that we must learn from the Edo elections 2024 is the fact that popularity is not enough to win elections in Nigeria. Olumide Apkpata was very popular. Very, very popular. In fact, the insertion of Peter Obi into the mix, his visit to Edo State, was very, very constructive and productive. By the end of the day, what did we find? You need all the other 9 lessons, all the other 9 things or strategies in place. You need very good, automatic, our result collation should be 10 times faster than that of INEC. If we are going to be able to put INEC in check, it must be 10 times faster. If INEC is doing their own electronic transmission and collation, our own should have happened 10 times faster, so that when INEC is doing their own, we will have all our countermeasures in place. We'll have our results at the ward level, local government, state level, national level, to counter whatever results they bring. And then we must have our countermeasures in place, whether in terms of the cameras, spy cameras, and all that. All of those structures, we must have them in place. We can checkmate them. I am confident of it. It may be a lot of work, but it is not an impossible thing to do. We can checkmate them. Popularity is not enough. Which one did I leave out? What is your contributions? Let us not just sit down and say Tinubu cannot be defeated in 2027. He can be defeated. But we must learn these 10 lessons that I just walked us through, and we must take the countermeasures that I suggested. What are your own suggestions? Let us know. We must work together, and we must start now.